WWTD this week. I'm back. I got a short week this week, so I'm trying to get this knocked out. Got to do an audio show today for you guys as well, and then we're actually recording our local show today. So busy day of putting out content for you guys that listen. So I've got a good topic today. Obviously, I'm driving around right now, checking out my own house, getting some coffee, dropping off some mail, doing some things that I got to do before I head into the office today to kind of wrap up some loose ends before I skedaddle for the week. Like I said, it's a short week. I'm going back to Bend, going to play some golf.
Son of a bitch, Paul, why didn't you just go home?
Hang out, soak up the last bit of summer. Unfortunately, it's pretty smoky because we got some dumbasses that decided to throw fireworks into the forest in the Columbia River Gorge and basically burn down what is, you know, a destination spot for anybody that comes to Portland. So hopefully they nail those dinglings to the wall for just a complete act of stupidity, but I'm sure you guys have seen it on the news. Anyway, what I want to talk about on this week's show is a topic that I've seen thrown around a lot, and it's because there's kind of a big mantra out there right now, and mainly because of a guy named Gary Vee. Right? Everybody in the world who's on the internet knows probably who Gary Vee is at this point because he's made it his job to make sure everybody knows who he is. And his mantra is hustle, 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 right? And so it seems to be a little bit polarizing because it affects people in two different ways. You've got the crowd that's like, yeah, Gary Vee, I love you, man, you're the best. And then you've got the other side, which is like, that guy's a douche, he bothers me, he's abrasive, he looks sickly, he's got to be on drugs, all these things, right? So that's kind of the two sides of what people think of Gary Vee, or they just think he's insane and that nobody should work that much. And so what I wanted to do is kind of unpack what it is that he's talking about a little bit and kind of break it down so it doesn't have to be one or the other type of thing, right? So basically, if you want to get really, really good at anything in life, whether it be sports, whether it be the business that you're running, that you're starting, that you're wanting to get into, there is no such thing as work-life balance throughout all of life, right? Life is about seasons. And so in order to get really, really good at something, and now occasionally there are people that just hit it big, you know, they don't have to work as hard as others, but they usually still have committed like 110% for a sustained amount of time to whatever it is that they're trying to get going, right? And so for that amount of time, their life is out of balance. And so to expect to ever become great at anything without having your life be out of balance, and when I say out of balance, I mean, you know, you're committing more time, energy, effort to whatever that thing is that you're wanting to accomplish than you are, let's say, your relationships, your family, whatever. And Gary Vee is obviously, his mantra is that he's committed to his business and his social persona and all these things much more than his family. And at the end of the day, I don't know if that's the case or not, or his personal life for that matter, right? I don't know that the guy has a personal life, but who knows, right? I don't know the guy, so I can't say for sure. But the reality is that, you know, what he's talking about, I think, you know, you kind of need to take it in context. You need to understand that there's seasons in your life where you should hustle your ass off, you should work as much as you possibly can to get something off the ground. I think that's one of the biggest misnomers and issues that real estate investors have, is that they think that they can basically employ the 4-hour work week from the get-go, getting their business going, and then they don't get traction and success, especially right now in a super competitive market, and they're like, oh, this shit doesn't work, this guy told me to do this, he's full of crap, it didn't work, blah, blah, blah. Or they don't have the gumption, they don't have the drive, they don't have the desire to actually ever be great because they don't want to commit the time, they don't want to get their life out of balance, they want to go to happy hour and they want to hang out with their friends and they want to stop work at 3 o'clock every day and they want to do, you know, all the things that life has to offer, which is important too. You need to have some of those things because if you work all the time, you get to be kind of a boring guy or gal. You got to have some layers to you as a person. So bottom line is, take what he says with a grain of salt and understand that there's seasons in life, right? There's seasons where you should work a lot and your life should be out of balance. And then when you hit certain accomplishments, you can scale it back and you can kind of put your life back in balance for a little bit. And nothing's ever really completely in balance, right? So maybe you're just committing more effort and energy to your relationships and your family and whatever, as opposed to a different chapter or season of life where you're committed a lot more to building your business. So for me personally, you know, when I first started building my business, you know, my life was way out of balance, and I still struggle with it a lot, but it was way out of balance because I was constantly trying to learn and understand real estate investing and how it is that this whole thing works, and deal structure and market analysis. And I mean, I was on Redfin at 11:30 at night just trying to understand values and where people bought and what kind of projects they were doing and who they were, and trying to learn internet marketing, you know, for real estate at the same time, and direct response marketing, and coming up with ideas for marketing campaigns and just all kinds of stuff. And so for a long time, my life was completely out of balance with that. I've since worked on that a little bit, mainly because I'm in now the season of having 2 young kids. And when you have 2 young kids, it takes a lot more time. It's a different season. But now that I've had the 2, I'm only having 2. After that, you know, they're getting a little bit older. I'll probably head into another season here where they're not quite in sports and doing things like that, that I'll be more committed to the business to kind of really grow next year in a few more directions that we want to go. So it's just about seasons. So understand that, recognize the fact that he's saying those things, but you don't have to take them literally for you all the time. But it's important to recognize that if you ever want to be great at something, your life has to be out of balance, and you need to work that hard for a certain amount of time in order to basically master your craft, right? Master what it is that you're doing and build whatever business it is that you want to build. In this particular case, becoming the best real estate investor that you can be. So that's this week's WWTD. Hopefully that kind of unpacks the idea a little bit for you. So like I always say, I may not walk on water, but I do walk on my own job sites. I'll see you guys next week.